Folks, buckle up, because the future of transportation is arriving faster than you think. Pony.ai, a major player in the autonomous vehicle game, has just announced a strategic partnership with Uber, the ride-hailing giant. That's right, robotaxis are coming, and they're starting to roll out in the Middle East later this year. But is this a groundbreaking step towards a transportation utopia, or are we accelerating towards a jobless future? That's the million-dollar question we're tackling today. Forget the hype for a second. We're going to dissect this deal, the tech behind it, the potential pitfalls, and what it all means for you, the everyday consumer and the transportation worker. Let's dive in. Okay, so what exactly did Pony.ai and Uber announce? In short, they're teaming up to deploy Pony.ai's robotaxis on the Uber platform. The initial launch is slated for a key market in the Middle East before expanding to other international locations. When you request a ride through the Uber app, you might just get the option to hop into a self-driving Pony.ai vehicle. Now, initially, these vehicles will have a safety operator on board. Think of them as a co-pilot, just in case things go sideways. This is until they get the green light for fully autonomous commercial operations. Pony.ai is touting this as a major step in their global expansion, showcasing their robust technological readiness. They claim their 7th-generation autonomous driving system allows for mass production of robotaxis on a more scalable and cost-effective basis. Uber's CEO, Dara Khosrowshahi, sees this partnership as another meaningful step towards introducing the benefits of autonomous mobility to the world. Big promises, right? But what's actually under the hood? Let's break down the tech that Pony.ai is bringing to the table. They're using what they call their vehicle-agnostic virtual driver technology. This is a full-stack autonomous driving system that integrates their proprietary software, hardware, and services. Think of it as the brains and nervous system of the Robotaxi. Now, Pony.ai claims this virtual driver technology allows them to mass-produce and deploy vehicles across various transportation scenarios. One key aspect is their use of LiDAR, cameras, and radar sensors, a sensor fusion approach. LiDAR, or light detection and ranging, uses laser beams to create a 3D map of the environment. Cameras provide visual data, and radar helps detect objects in various weather conditions. This sensor suite feeds data into complex algorithms that allow the vehicle to perceive its surroundings, make decisions, and navigate safely. The system relies heavily on deep learning models trained on massive datasets of driving scenarios. This AI constantly learns and improves its ability to handle complex and unpredictable situations. It's important to note that the safety operator is there to handle situations the AI can't, providing a crucial layer of redundancy during the initial rollout. We should also consider the limitations of these systems, citing a paper by Professor John Leonard at MIT, Perception in Autonomous Driving, Challenges and Opportunities, which highlights the challenges of robust perception in adverse weather and dynamic environments. The accuracy of these systems in real-world conditions is still a critical area of research. So what's Uber's role in all of this? Well, they're providing the platform, the user base, and the operational expertise. Uber has a massive network of riders and drivers, and they have experience in managing ride-hailing services on a global scale. By integrating Pony.ai's robotaxis into the Uber app, they can offer riders a new transportation option. This could potentially lower costs, improve efficiency, and expand access to transportation in underserved areas. Uber's also likely interested in reducing their reliance on human drivers. Drivers are expensive, and they're often the biggest cost for ride-hailing companies. Autonomous vehicles could significantly reduce these costs and improve profitability in the long run. But it's not just about cost savings. Uber also sees autonomous vehicles as a way to improve safety. They believe that self-driving cars can reduce accidents caused by human error, such as drunk driving, distracted driving, and fatigue. Of course, this is a controversial claim, and we'll delve into the safety concerns later. Why the Middle East for the initial launch? There are a few potential reasons. First, the Middle East is known for its willingness to embrace new technologies. Countries like Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates are investing heavily in smart city initiatives and autonomous transportation. They're also less constrained by regulatory hurdles than some other regions. This allows companies like Pony.ai and Uber to test and deploy their technologies more quickly. Second, the Middle East has a unique transportation landscape. Many cities are highly congested, and there's a growing demand for efficient and sustainable transportation solutions. Robotaxis could potentially alleviate congestion and reduce emissions. Third, there's a lot of capital in the Middle East. Sovereign wealth funds are actively investing in technology companies, and they could provide funding for the expansion of autonomous vehicle services. However, we need to be realistic. The Middle East presents its own set of challenges, including extreme weather conditions, complex traffic patterns, and cultural nuances. It will be interesting to see how Pony.ai and Uber adapt their technology to these unique conditions. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: job displacement. The rise of autonomous vehicles has the potential to displace millions of professional drivers around the world. Truck drivers, taxi drivers, delivery drivers, all could be at risk. This is a serious concern, and it's one that we need to address proactively. Some argue that autonomous vehicles will create new jobs in areas like software development, maintenance, and operations. However, these new jobs may not be accessible to the drivers who lose their jobs. There's a skills gap that needs to be addressed. Furthermore, the number of new jobs created may not be enough to offset the number of jobs lost. We need to think about how to retrain and reskill workers who are displaced by automation. We also need to consider policies like universal basic income or a guaranteed minimum income to provide a safety net for those who are unable to find new employment. This isn't just about economics, it's about social justice. Safety is another major concern. While autonomous vehicle companies claim that their technology is safer than human drivers, there have been several high-profile accidents involving self-driving cars. These accidents have raised questions about the reliability and safety of autonomous driving systems. One argument is that autonomous vehicles are programmed to prioritize safety, while human drivers are prone to errors, distractions, and risky behavior. However, autonomous vehicles are still susceptible to software glitches, sensor failures, and unexpected events. It's crucial to have robust testing and validation procedures to ensure that autonomous vehicles can handle a wide range of scenarios safely. Furthermore, we need to establish clear liability rules in case of accidents. Who is responsible when a self-driving car causes an accident? The vehicle manufacturer? The technology provider? The owner of the vehicle? These are complex legal and ethical questions that need to be addressed. There is also the argument that safety operators are there to prevent such accidents. But can we really trust them to take over at the right moment every single time? Data privacy is another often overlooked aspect of autonomous vehicles. These vehicles collect vast amounts of data about their surroundings, including location data, video footage, and sensor readings. This data could be used to track individuals, monitor their movements, and even infer their personal habits. It's essential to have strong data privacy regulations to protect individuals from surveillance and misuse of their data. We need to ensure that individuals have control over their data and that they can opt out of data collection if they choose. Furthermore, we need to be transparent about how data is being used and who has access to it. The potential for misuse of this data is very real, and we need to be vigilant in protecting our privacy. Finally, let's consider the ethical dilemmas posed by autonomous vehicles. One classic example is the trolley problem. Imagine a scenario where a self-driving car is faced with an unavoidable accident. It can either swerve to avoid hitting a group of pedestrians, but in doing so, it will hit a single person. Or it can continue straight and hit the group of pedestrians. What should the car do? There's no easy answer. These are complex ethical questions that need to be debated and addressed by society as a whole. How do we program autonomous vehicles to make these kinds of decisions? Whose values should be programmed into the car? These are not just technical questions. They are moral questions that require careful consideration. So, what does the future hold for autonomous vehicles? It's difficult to say for sure, but here are a few predictions. First, we'll likely see a gradual rollout of autonomous vehicles, starting with limited deployments in well-defined areas. It will take time for the technology to mature and for regulators to develop appropriate rules and regulations. Second, we'll likely see a mix of autonomous and human-driven vehicles on the roads for many years to come. Full autonomy is still a long way off, and there will always be situations where human drivers are needed. Third, autonomous vehicles will likely transform the transportation industry. They could lead to lower costs, improved efficiency, and increased access to transportation. However, they could also lead to job displacement, safety concerns, and data privacy issues. We need to be prepared for these challenges and work to mitigate their negative impacts. This requires proactive planning, thoughtful regulation, and a willingness to adapt to change. The autonomous revolution is coming, whether we're ready or not. The pace of innovation will only accelerate. Consider a recent study by McKinsey, The Future of Mobility, which estimates that the autonomous vehicle market could be worth trillions of dollars by 2030. This is a massive opportunity, but it also comes with significant risks. All right, folks, that's a wrap for today's deep dive into the Pony.ai and Uber partnership. What do you think? Are you excited about the prospect of robotaxis, or are you worried about the potential downsides? Let me know in the comments below. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more in-depth analysis of the latest technology trends. We're here to cut through the hype and provide you with the information you need to make informed decisions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and share this video if you found it informative. Your support helps us create more content like this. And if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please leave them in the comments below. We read every comment, and we appreciate your feedback.